What it really means to live life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, 'cause we're golden.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another YouTube Apex Legends video. And in today's video we're going through and giving my honest review of the game thus far. It's now been 1 month of gameplay and they have reached over 50 million players. It just blows my mind every time I think of that. But anyway, let's just get down to the nitty gritty. If you do enjoy the video, obviously leave me a thumbs up because that really does help and I appreciate all of you. And if you enjoy this video and enjoy my previous content, please subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Drop me a comment and I always find the time to respond to each and every one of you. Now, how I'm going to do this video is I've set out some pros, a list of pros and a list of cons because I want to be fair and I don't want to just be like, this game's amazing, I think it's great, download it. So let's start with the pros. Number one, it's free to play. So obviously that is the biggest pro because you don't have to spend a penny, a dime, a cent, whatever country you're in, you don't have to spend nothing. As long as you've got an internet connection and an Xbox, a PS4 or a PC, go ahead, download it guys. If you haven't, I urge you, watch this video and as soon as you've finished, download the game and see for yourself. Number two, there's lots of guns and there's plenty of legends. Now, there's currently 8 legends and there's a handful of guns. You've got the P2020, the Mozambique or the Mozambique, the Peacekeeper, Wingman, Spitfire. I could go on guys. There's a lot of guns, a lot of weapons, and there's rumours that more are dropping very, very soon. Recently, I think it was a week and a half ago now, they've already dropped the new weapon, the Havoc. So that's what I'm saying, which leads me very nicely onto my third pro. There's lots of content. Now, a lot of problems with games is they come out at launch, like Battlefield 5 for a real prime example, and Anthem as well, seeing as it's EA. They brought Battlefield 5 out and they didn't give you all the content. So they're basically an Anthem as well. So basically they're telling you, oh, and also you have to pay for these games, don't forget. So they're basically saying to you, here's spend £60 or $50, whatever it is in your currency on the game. But by the way, the game's not finished yet because you're gonna have to wait 6 months for all the content to be rolled out. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't see how these developers think that that's a wise idea or even a good idea. Don't bring out a game until it's polished and fully ready. Just take note, guys. Now, number 4, it's such a fast-paced and fun game to play. Obviously there's going to be times before somebody says it in the comments where there's a few lobbies that I've been into where obviously there's moments where we've dropped off somewhere far and we don't see anybody for a good 10 minutes, but that's very, very rare. That's, you know, a handful of times, but 9 times out of 10, constant action, constant pace, constant speed. So that's what you need in a battle royale. Number 5 is the fact that Respawn listen to the community. Everything that we're talking about on the Twitter, on the Reddit, on Instagram, whatever we're saying, they're actually sitting down and they're really taking note. And the reason why we know this is because they recently brought out a balance patch where they listened to everybody about the Wingman being far too superior and also the Peacekeeper, and also the fact about the nerfs that needed to be made to, you know, Lifeline, Wraith and the buffs for Caustic, etc. So they really do listen, which is a breath of fresh air. You need a game developer to have an ear to the ground and to really listen, and not only just listen, but they need to act upon what we're asking for. Obviously they're not going to do every single thing that the community asks them because some of the things are just going to be silly or they're not going to be viable, but the fact is they actually have listened and they're acting on it. And what it really, you know, I enjoyed the most and I actually thought, wow, okay, is on the recent balance patch they actually said to us they don't want to just pop out updates week after week. They want to actually find out what works, take the time to test it, to make sure that there's not too many bugs, and then they release it. So it's more polished instead of just dropping, oh, here's an update, here's an update, here's an update every single week. So I think that's really good. Now, number 6, you can respawn. I mean, who would have thought it, guys? Something so simple on a battle royale. You get downed. So basically, like Fortnite, PUBG, Blackout, you don't want to be too aggressive, because you know for a fact if they first you and finish you off, that's game over for you. You've got to sit there watching the kill cam, watching your teammates play for the next 10, 15, 20 minutes until they die, or you ask them to back out, or you just back out. Nobody wants that. So it's about darn time, but Respawn have actually thought, hence their name Respawn, they thought of a respawn feature, and let's not forget the ping system is phenomenal. Now, number 7 is my final pro I'm going to have for today, and that is that it's a very, very balanced game so far. So everything that they've done, obviously there is, apart from a few things, you could argue that some of the guns are more, overpowered than others, but they actually touched on that as well, and they said the reason why they've done that is because they want a power curve for the guns. You don't want to have, if every weapon's going to be the same tier, why on earth would you have, what's the point? You might as well just have one weapon or 2 weapons. So I would say it's a very balanced, because no matter what legend you pick, they're pretty much balanced. They've got pros and they've got cons for every single one, but we're not going to touch on that today. I'm going to make a whole separate video based on the legends, what their pros are and what their cons are, and why you should pick or not pick them at the moment, in my opinion. Now we're going to switch on to some of the cons. The first one being hackers. There's been over 360k plus hackers already banned. This is a touchy subject because obviously, and Respawn touched on this, I'm not going to go too far into it, but it's a free-to-play game and it's got 50 million players. It's very, very popular, so hackers loving it. They're going to jump in. They haven't got to buy it, have they? So they're going to jump in, hack it. But the fact is, Respawn are really knuckling down and they're trying to drill out as much as they can, which is great because you don't want hackers ruining the game. Number 2 is the major big problem is the hitboxes. So again, this leads back to my first point, my 5th point of the pros is Respawn listen. They're working on a method to reduce the hitboxes of the larger characters, Caustic, Pathfinder and Gibby. They're going to try and make them fit their model a little bit better, and if that doesn't work, they're going to think of some other solutions to try and make it more viable. But number 3, the third con, is the issue that I seem to have quite a lot on the Europe servers. I'm from the UK. I don't know about my American guys and the Asian guys, but the slow-mo server, sometimes you jump into a lobby and it's super slow-mo, like you're playing the Matrix or something. It doesn't normally last for too long, but it's very, very irritating. But again, they're trying to find a fix, and I understand it's going to cost a lot of money and a lot of resources, so that's fine. And then my last point before I let you guys go is at the moment there is no solo playlist and there's no duo playlist, and I'm a little bit salty about that because I don't always have people on to play with, and obviously I enjoy the thrill of being solo and becoming number 1. Victory Royale as a solo player is a rush. But before I leave you guys, I've got a little point to make. I'm not actually sure if Respawn will ever actually implement solos, because they've made a game based around the ping system, the respawn system. So if they was to add solos into it, duos could work and quads, but if they was to do a solo, maybe it'd be a limited time mode, but solos really wouldn't work. So we never know. Let's just see what they do. They listen to the community, so fingers crossed they may implement it, even if it is a limited time mode or a separate map or something. We'll see what they can come up with. But that's my review, honest review. I'm going to rate it an 8 out of 10 because I feel that there's still improvements that need to be made, and I feel that they will be made. And maybe when we're in season 2 and 3, I'll revisit this and we'll do another one. But for now, no, 7.5 out of 10. I think that's a more honest opinion. So there you go, 7.5 out of 10. If you haven't played it, download it now. I'll leave the link down below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.